but is that a reason to avoid Facebook stock? I mean, it's down a fraction today, but it's done well in the last year. So let's brawl it out,
yes,
shall we?
Aaron Kessler from Raymond James, bullish on the stock and recently upped his price target to 63 from 60. Brian Evans from Advisor Shares says the company has too many problems. Welcome to you both. And Aaron, I'm just curious first to you, do you think Facebook is still cool and does it matter for investors?
I think it depends on who you ask. I mean, I think we've heard that for a while among the teenagers, especially younger teenagers. Maybe that's losing its coolness factor. But I think there is something to be said for the fact that sometimes teens, maybe they don't use it as much in high school. Then they go to college, they want to stay in touch with people and they reconnect. So I think people can rediscover Facebook even if they stop using it as much.
What do you think, Brian?
Well, being a CPA, no one's ever accused me of being cool, so I don't know if I'm the right guy to comment on cool.
Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, do you use it?
Rarely. But, I'm looking at valuations, looking at the numbers, and I just think there's a lot better buys out there right now in the fund that I manage, FWDD. If we look at it in relation to the S&P 500, there's about 300 stocks that I would consider more undervalued than this stock is right now.
You know, Aaron, the problem I have with the demographics, numbers are numbers, right? I feel that about us here at CNBC. You know, advertisers obsess over demographics. We want a certain age group. But for us, you know, a number is a number because anybody that's going to watch is going to be an investor or a consumer anyway. Can the same be said for a Facebook or all social media? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think numbers are important. I think advertisers are still getting a lot of ROI from Facebook. They do well in the 18-year-old plus category. Maybe they're not doing well with the 13 and 14-year-olds, but 18-year-old plus, Facebook does very well with. You're seeing increased budgets. Our checks for this quarter show a lot of continue to gain share from other advertising platforms out there. So we think the numbers speak for themselves that they are gaining share from other platforms.
What's also clear, Brian, is that Facebook is an incredibly successful advertising platform. And I wonder, even if their growth is slowing, even if people aren't as engaged as they've been with the site in the past, has their delivery of advertising become such a cash-generating machine that investors are willing to look past it?
They have looked past it in the last year as it nearly doubled, but right now it's trading at over 20 times gross revenue. Even with 25% projected earnings growth, it's still not really going to grow into its current valuation for years to come. So at roughly $58 a share that it is right now, I know one of the questions you might ask me is, at what point would I put my mom's money into this one? And I would say it's right around $35 a share.
Wow.
The question I was going to ask you, though, Brian, is are there other social media that you would prefer? I mean, they don't have to be publicly traded because the kids migrate. They move on. You know, my daughter's on to Snapchat and those others that everybody's using right now. Is that an area that you would look to for better growth necessarily?
I would look to where things are moving because these kinds of stocks seem to take off all at once. They get big gains, they get fully valued for years to come, and then they kind of level off. So there's, again, a lot better buys out there, and if you're more of a risk taker, then I would certainly start asking my younger friends what they're using, what the new kinds of things are, maybe look into getting those early on, but not after they've hit a $140 billion market cap like this stock has.
You got to hand it to Facebook, though, for identifying this issue. It tried to go after Snapchat. It did successfully buy Instagram, and by the way, for a song relative to what its value today may be, and that's where a lot of young users are moving. Brian, how important, how valuable is Instagram? And if Facebook is able to convert it towards more of an advertising platform, could that be a catalyst for the shares?
It could be a catalyst, but it's a very small percentage of their revenue right now, and of course it's all factored into the growth projections. I just think that there's real issues when you're valuing companies based upon such a huge multiple of gross sales. A lot of these things just level off after a period of time, and we just have to look 5-10 years down the road, and when we run those discounted cash flow models, it just doesn't really pencil out. I think if it dropped back a little bit, back to where it was maybe 6 or 9 months ago, it would be a buy again. It's just a little pricey for me right now.
Aaron, I think you would agree they're going to have to evolve their business model as many technology companies that do achieve this kind of icon status the way an Apple had to do or Microsoft certainly had to do over the years. Is Facebook going to have to face that same kind of evolution as it grows?
Yeah, I think there's always going to be a need for a Facebook-like platform where you stay in touch with your friends. I don't think Facebook's going away. As you mentioned, they did acquire Instagram, which does address the younger teenage group. But yeah, I think they don't need to evolve too much. I think they can look at e-commerce more as an opportunity for the future. But it's still going to primarily be an advertising-driven platform, and we do still see Facebook as a long-term key player in the space. I don't think they're going away anytime soon.
Aaron, do you use Facebook?
I do use it pretty often. I would say one other thing is with mobile now, people are checking Facebook much more often than they would before. We looked at some of the ComScore data. Usage was up 30% year over year combined if you add in mobile plus PC, and that's not even including tablet data. So I think the engagement concerns are a little overblown still if you look at some of the engagement statistics out there.
Exactly.
All I see on Facebook are engagements, so that seems to be what it's a platform for these days. Thanks, guys.